I'll be producer, which means...
You said that like a real child emperor, too. I shall be the king now.
I wear the crown now, and I shall pick a game about pattern building. Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Michael at Team Fun, along with Louie, Brittany, and Scott. We are going to play some Unpub, a game about pitching other games to each other. So the way it's going to work is one of us is going to be the role of the producer. We're each going to take a turn doing that, and the rest of us are designers. So we're going to deal out 5 cards to each person. And there's going to be a lot of improv going on. Once we get the components, we're going to have to think of pitches no longer, hopefully, than 15 to 30 seconds. Hopefully, I can also count cards while I'm talking. Does everyone have 5?
I can't count to 5, so you're good either way.
Yeah.
We'll go from one direction to the other. Brittany or Scott, who wants to be first?
I'll be the first publisher.
Go for it.
Sweet.
Amuse me.
All right, so
Yeah.
so pick something from your cards that you want us to base the game on. You get to pick one of those 3 components of a...
So of the... What are the components?
So it's like the design, the
mechanism.
Yep, and the component.
And the component. And of these, all the ones I have, I'm gonna pick one, and you guys are all gonna.
And then we have to build a pitch, picking 2 other things that go with that.
Perfect. Okay, so. Oh God. It's like how do I want to hurt you? Okay.
Emotionally.
My
body's, the flesh is weak, but my brain's strong.
I can take emotional damage.
I sure
Gentlemen.
can. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Let's hear your pitches for a Civil War game.
Okay. Civil War game.
Now remind me, which one was the Civil War? Michael?
The Civil War?
Can you tell me about Civil War history while I'm trying to put this together?
Washington putting the coats on the paddles.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep,
That
was the whole Civil War, beginning to
it
end.
is.
Just a lot of coats on paddles. It was on Christmas.
Yeah, they found lightning in there somewhere.
Yes, I do remember. I remember a lot of lightning involved in the Civil War.
Yeah. It was the Avengers versus Queen Victoria.
There it is.
There it is.
It's a good comic. Marvel 1802. It's great. Sadly, that's not a joke. That's real.
Is that really? Who was in it?
It's all of the Avengers as if they were they came around in the 1800s.
Yep.
Around like the last Crusades, kind of trying to come back. It's cool.
That is a very good intellectual property that
Yes.
doesn't belong to us.
All right, I'm ready.
You're
Okay,
ready?
you know what? I will also have to be ready.
I think Michael
Please
should start.
don't make me go first.
Then let's start with you, Louie.
Holla.
Dance for me.
Great. That feels weird during this Civil War.
We're starting things off properly.
Civil War. A lot of great parts about it. Personal favorite.
Yeah.
The slavery system that a lot of the war was kind of based around. I think it was great. You don't see a lot of wars that were fought over trying to keep slavery involved, right? So here we go. Here's what I want to focus on: the plantations, the real hotbed of the war itself. A lot of games talk about like the battlefront. I want to bring it home. So here's what we do. First thing that's going to happen: judging. Main mechanic of the game. You're constantly judging people. You've got a plantation. You've got workers on it. Some of them are inside. Some of them are outside. Here's the thing. The people that you're judging, deciding where they should go, how do they know where they need to be? Whether they're outside worker, inside worker. We've got double-sided cards that everybody uses. You flip them one way, you flip them the other way, all of a sudden you're out in the fields, then you're learning how to read. It's great. You don't know what's going on. You're judging everybody. I call it plantation shuffle boogie. Civil War edition.
I love how the focus is on slavery and not really on the Civil War at all.
What is the Civil War without slavery, Michael?
I mean, you're right.
That's also why Civil War edition is in the name
A
of the
very
game.
chill time, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Great fun for all your friends.
All right.
All right.
And dot.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I can go next.
Yes, by all
so,
means.
so the Civil War took place over several years, and it was a very involved conflict. Things went back and forth. The North and South fought, and sometimes they took certain places. Sometimes they gave ground over the course of the years. So it reminds me of a game like musical chairs. So, you're traveling around. You're overseeing the different territories that you're trying to win. And then when the music stops, you can't take a chair until you throw a dart to hit that chair. And I call it the Battle of Bullseye Run.
History's coming alive before my very eyes, Petro.
It's just
That
like the
is
Civil War.
that's definitely not a first draft idea, Mike.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, then. So, when we talk about the Civil War, we always talk about the battles, Gettysburg and all that stuff. What I want to talk about is the war at home and the war on manners and civility. So, we're going to
That's
play
what
a
that
game.
was about.
Yeah,
Is that
so-
why they called it the Civil War?
Exactly. It was all about this just being civil people in the day. So we're gonna do a game.
Civil War.
Yeah, we're gonna do a game all
Oh.
about having the best cotillion, despite the fact that we're in wartime. And the game will be played over several rounds in which you try to acquire the resources, despite the harsh conditions of the war, really dampening your party.
Yeah.
To prove that you have the best cotillion. And it's going to be a voting system. At the end of the round, all the players will get together and vote on who threw the best cotillion. And it's going to be called Southern Bells of War.
Wow.
You really brought it home. So I want to thank you all for your
Man, I love
creativity,
his the best.
your respect for the subject matter, your deep knowledge of American history.
Thank you.
Simply blown away. The idea of a game based around who has the biggest and fanciest petticoats, though, is always going to be the one for me. So congratulations. I don't know how to show you,
You
that
get-
you've
yeah.
won.
Yeah,
I
you get.
will
You get.
You want
the-
mine?
Yeah,
Then
you
you
get
get that.
that.
Is that a
So
we got a
send
thing
me
in
my
post?
I've got one.
one. All right, you got one.
And we
You
shall
got
draw
one.
back up to 5.
Yeah. So we'll draw back up to 5.
Deal.
All right.
Okay, so now I shall be producer, which means
You said that like a real child emperor, too. I shall be the king now.
I wear the crown now, and I shall pick a game about pattern building. So
Okay.
pattern building has to be the main component because I love patterns
All right.
and I love games about them.
Great.
Think about it. I'm just thinking of some patterns right now.
Which ones?
Oh my god.
Give me your top
Like-
3 favorite patterns.
Favorite patterns?
Yeah.
Like the Fibonacci sequence. It's like a pattern.
Mathematical patterns.
And other famous
That's a
patterns throughout history.
Here goes polka dot, houndstooth, Fibonacci sequence. It's like you're in my brain.
Second are checkered tablecloths at pizza places.
And the rest. Okay.
Oh man, okay. We can use these two and maybe
Boys.
All right.
spend some gold.
Okay.
How's everyone feeling?
Rough.
Good.
So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
If you want, I will take it away. We'll start
Yeah,
with
as I say,
the worst
we'll-
for first. So, when you think of patterns, and you think of like quilting and really stitching
Which we
together,
do all the time.
We do.
I can't
We're
stop
big
thinking about it.
quilters here. So, you often think of like sometimes like rough times when you're just trying to patch things together. So we're gonna set this in the Great Depression.
Great.
A hard time, but a time that really brought families together. And it's going to be all about building a nice pattern of the quilts you're trying to stitch together from the remnants of your old clothes to keep yourselves warm in the winter. And because this is how you make your money, kids, we're going to make it a sticker-based game. So you will use the stickers on a little board to build your perfect quilt. It'll be like a drafting game, too. You'll take turns and put them on the board. And the best part is they're not reusable stickers. So that means every 3 games you have to buy a new sticker pack.
Well, resources were limited in the Great Depression.
See, there it is.
Yeah.
And so it's really just like an allegory for what it was like to be back then.
I feel like I'm in the Great Depression right now hearing your pitch.
So do I.
That's what I was going for.
Good.
So.
Love it. Next. Louis, why don't you go next?
Sure. So I don't know if you remember, but we were having a conversation once about how patterns can take many different forms. There's design
remember that.
patterns, right? And there's mathematical.
It feels
patterns.
really recent that we had that conversation.
Okay, yeah. So you do remember that? Then.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I would argue the greatest pattern of all time throughout history, and I think going forward, is dance. It's a sequence that you put together, right? Like I know you love Cotton Eye Joe.
It's
right,
my favorite song.
Yeah, pattern building, right? So
That's true.
let's take a game around that. Let's everybody dance it out.
Can it just be Cotton Eye Joe, though?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what?
All right.
Yeah, that's
Good.
it's just
Good.
Cotton Eye Joe.
It's very important to me.
Yeah, so what if you had to dance the Cotton Eye Joe on repeat? That's not a game, right? That's just you dance the Cotton Eye Joe.
I mean, that's just
That's
my
just
spare
a
time.
compulsion.
Let me throw something else in the mix. Pogs. Here's what I'm thinking. You play Pogs. You dance the Cotton Eye Joe. If that's not a game,
So can
I
I ask
don't
you
know
a
what
question?
it is.
end of statement.
I know I'm not the publisher here. Can I ask you a question? Are we trying to hit that 90s nostalgia?
We're hitting it pretty hard right
yeah,
now.
exactly. Right. That's hot now too. That's big. That was definitely going to be the end of my pitch.
Yep.
90s nostalgia is big.
Cotton Eye Joe and Pogs have always been inseparable in my mind, and I'm glad someone is trying to finally bring that to life in game form today.
Yeah, so we call it Slam Dance, Slam Down, : 90s edition, Pogton Eye Joe.
You know what? Let's just
Period. TM.
let's just take the whole first part out and just call it Pogton Eye Joe, and you might be onto something. Brittany, I would love to hear your idea next.
Okay. So, one example of a pattern would be the pattern of a coat or a frock or a dress or a skirt or a top or
Especially a
a
frock,
blouse
yeah.
or pants. So, let's say that you're, as we all are, you're a lady who lunches. You're an Upper East Sider. You've got like this really intense social landscape that you need to navigate. And Matildred has shown up in a fur coat made of more animals than your fur coat.
This was my
Tildred.
So what do you have to do? You have to go hunting. This is a hunting-based game in which you have to find and kill the most beautiful, exotic, rare animals that have the most capacity for pain to put together a murder coat more glorious than any of the other ladies in your neighborhood.
Tell me how pain capacity factors into the game.
It just adds flavor.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's kind of just fluff.
I would imagine it normally, so I'm glad it's
We could include a pain meter, like a pain and rarity meter that you have to balance out because
Yeah.
you don't just
like that.
want the loveliest animals, you want to kill the last of each lovely animal, and you want to make sure that
So
they can
your
feel
goal
it.
can't be repeated by somebody else.
I like that idea. So you're also up against an electronic timer, which I think would be counting down not only how much time you've used, but how many of each beautiful animal is left. So I call it Mrs. McGee's Great Murder Spree.
You know what?
Yeah.
I had a preamble, but you win.
Yeah. I'm tired and upset. And you
As much as I love Cotton Eye Joe.
I want to go home.
Sorry.
Slam down, 90s edition, Pogton Eye Joe got robbed.
No.
You all know it. Hit us up in the YouTube
forget which
comments.
one.
Let us know what you thought about Slam Down,
Where's the
90s edition,
discard
Pogton Eye
file?
Joe.
That was it.
That's the discard.
That's a discard. Oh yeah, we'll just
There we
walk
go.
it down underneath.
All right.
All right, so right now we've got a tie between Brittany and Scott.
Hot game.
1-1.
I somehow only
Okay,
have
so
4
Louis,
cards.
Louis is the publisher.
I
Yes.
sure am.
Louis is in charge.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yay.
thought Charles was in charge.
Here we go.
Not anymore.
Here's a wacky idea. What if we made a game where the core mechanic was drinking?
What if?
What if?
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be kooky?
Okay. So, the most important times of our life are always the most interesting, and like any dramatic
Profound.
work, you don't want to see a regular day. You want to see, the most significance. I always like to think something very significant being an alien invasion. Which would lead to a lot of drinking just by the general populace. So, the aliens are coming down and they've outmanned you militarily. They've just, they're smarter, they're stronger. You don't know what to do until you along with some survivors, hide out in the Museum of Modern Art. And the aliens come in, and they are so struck by the paintings that they see that they drop dead. They are just emotionally caught up. Because of their intelligence now, they are not so stupid as to go into that museum and see that art that kills them.
Okay.
So you have to get them drunk. You have to convince them to drink and challenge them to an art contest with crayons. So it becomes a drinking game where you have to essentially find ways to convince the aliens to drink with you and then get them to draw pictures only in crayon that are so beautiful that it kills them and you save the world.
Wow.
And I call it dramatic irony.
Okay. All right. Well, pulled that together nicely. It's cohesive,
packaged it.
plausible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like-
Okay.
Right.
All right. Who wants it next?
I'll go for it.
All right.
So, say that you have a group of friends, maybe from college.
I've got a group of friends, maybe from college.
Yeah. You keep hanging out, and they keep making you play games.
God.
You are a little bit too shy to make a new group of friends because, say, you're 32 and work takes over, and it's harder and harder to make new friends. So you make do with what you have. Your friends
Wow.
keep pulling you into their creative projects. Maybe one of those creative projects is a cyberpunk/dystopian role-playing game that they want to play outside in the Socrates Sculpture Park.
Oh, is that a thing? Tell us what you think about it on YouTube.
So, how are you going
it
to
in the
get
comments.
over your residual social embarrassment over being seen in public playing a cyberpunk game, but not losing the few precious friends you've had since your days at, say, Marymount Manhattan College?
Just to
okay.
pick a
Good.
random example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has to make their way through a certain number of cups
Cups.
of alcohol,
Alcohol cups.
the ultimate social lubricant.
Mmm.
The winner is the first person to lose all of their inhibitions and play the stupid fucking cyberpunk game that their college friends want them to play outdoors in the Socrates Sculpture Park in Queens.
Okay.
My only complaint, I don't think this is a very relatable game. I know, I'm just saying, I personally am having trouble connecting with this character.
That's
fair.
That sounds like a you problem.
I just want to say, honestly, I'm glad we never actually made you do this, because I feel like this would be a really
I
just
know.
laying things bare
Yeah.
kind of situation.
This seems a little far-fetched. I like my games a little more grounded, with aliens.
aliens and crayons.
Yeah, crayons, right? Yeah,
Right.
Things for us average
Right.
people. But okay. What are we calling this? What's the Give me a title. Give me a button. Take this home. That normally wins this.
Cyber Cups, the final embarrassment.
Oh.
It's a good title.
I love bonus punctuation. Game title.
Damn it, I didn't think about that.
All right.
Throw
it on me.
So,
Yes.
when I think of, having drinks with friends at parties, I flash back to when I was in high school, and my best friend's older brother used to get way too hammered and loved to do kung fu. It's a real thing. And
Am I your friend's older brother?
everybody's got that friend. And honestly, it's a little sad, because a lot of times they have trouble joining in on the other games because they've just hit that point. So we're going to make a game for them that you can join in too, and it's going to be a roll and move game.
Oh.
So you're going to roll, we're going to have a set of dice. You're going to roll those dice, and they will tell you which kung fu pose you have to strike. And whoever can hold that pose longest wins. The person who loses has to do a shot.
That's how Kung Fu works. It's
Yeah.
just all about static
Yes.
holding and endurance.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You stand still in positions for long periods of time.
My favorite kung fu movies are always the ones where they stay still for a really long time.
I know. Like, Tai Chi has got to be the most exciting martial art I've ever seen on camera.
I agree.
Huh.
So, I'm going to call this, it's just going to be named after my friend. It's going to be Buddy Fu.
Oh, that's a
Love it.
cute name. I really like
Is
Buddy.
that his
Buddy.
name or he's just your
That
buddy?
is really his name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, even better.
Which I did not know for almost 2 years. I just thought everybody called him Buddy as like a thing. Like, hey, buddy, how's it going?
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
This was tough. There were some great games and dramatic irony.
Yep.
Which really transcends the concept of game when you think about it.
I agree. Two good games, dramatic irony. We're gonna go with dramatic irony.
Yeah.
It's too different.
Sometimes it pays to think outside the box. Tell me what you think of that game in the comments.
So, I do believe as we're going into this this final judgment,
All right.
me as producer now,
Am I the only one that hasn't won
we have a
one?
potential
Okay.
like 4-way tie, or we could have a winner. I don't know. This is
Or-
gonna be
Oh,
exciting.
or-
What kind of America do you want to live in?
Tell us in the comments.
So,
Can't wait for all the political hot takes that's gonna come in on this video.
you know, part of me wants to go with one of my favorite things, but I just want to see what you guys come up with this. We're gonna make a game that uses pins, like actual sewing pins,
Oh.
as part of
Okay.
the prime piece used. I wish we can get some Jeopardy music going here. Just build that dramatic tension.
Like this, sad underwater trumpets playing the Jeopardy theme.
Legally different enough.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, playing a quiz show theme that I'm
only-
not familiar with.
Only get the hit if it was 15 seconds. Let's just go down the couch. So let's start with Brittany.
Okay, so one thing that sometimes people do are kind of like murder mystery, dinner party, interactive theater type experiences. So what if the setting for one of those was Mafia? So everybody's having their drinks, everybody's like gathered in one space. Maybe everyone has an assigned hidden role. And one person is the Mafia Don, and everybody else is trying to figure out who they are by pinning abstractly. You didn't say it had to be a literal pin. Pinning the murderer on the
Oh my
Don.
god.
And I call it Who Don It.
You heard it here, folks. Loopholes. We got 'em. All right. Next up, please.
Okay, look, games are a fun escape from the everyday world, but I think sometimes what we really need is a dose of reality and just, straight up learning some real life responsibilities. You have been elected mayor of a city. It can be New York, it can be Chicago, it can be Seattle, city of your
I
choice.
feel the responsibility.
Did we say New York?
New York. It's several felt
baby.
representations for worker placement throughout the city. So you essentially draw cards that describe conditions in certain neighborhoods, and you assign police or firefighters using pins in the felt representation of that city.
All right.
Not everything has to
until
be
it is
fun.
well managed. And you have a condition card that
We call them
says
Euro games.
you have to have this amount of the city managed by a certain percentage based on the number of pins, and then you win, and you're a responsible head of that local government.
Very. And what do we call it?
We call it "You are the mayor of a city."
I think I went to that in 4th grade. It was fun. I lost that election.
Yes. TM.
All right, take it away. Finish this off.
So I don't know if you remember, but a little while back, somebody was saying that not all games have to be fun.
Yeah, visionary.
You're going a little far back, but I'll
Okay. But, yeah, go back with me if you will. So here's what I'm thinking. You know what group doesn't have fun or even ostensibly play games? Animals. What if everybody's an animal? What do animals do? They attack each other. They're dicks to each other. They have aggressive, non-pleasurable sex. They just eat each other. They just take each other's land. They do whatever. They're not great creatures, but they're there. Animals suck. You heard it here first. What if everybody's playing as an animal, and so you just take pins, you just put them on them. Maybe they're their teeth, and then you just bite people. Maybe you put them in between your knuckles as claws, and you just swipe it at other people. Here's the thing about it, though. Animals don't have rules. They don't have codes that they respect. So what's the only mechanic that you need? You play this game in real time. That's right, look. There aren't rules. You just put pins on you and you just go at somebody. Just taking them down until you are supreme dominant. And I call the game Animal Pingdom. Colon. Be the best.
Okay.
You know what?
Full stop.
You would have had me, but I have major investments against the pin industry. So,
Why'd you pick it?
Yeah.
because I was really trying to bring them down, but lawsuits are a little much. So I'm gonna go with whodunit.
Shit.
You're all so welcome.
Well, that makes Brittany our winner for this game of Unpub. This has been Team Fun Tabletop Tuesday. Tell us what you think about your favorite game pitches in the comments, or use the categories to make your own games. And please like and subscribe, and check us out at Team Fun here on wherever you are streaming this from.
We on Crackle.
Here